Experience the life-changing benefits of automated insulin delivery with the t:slim X2 insulin pump from Tandem Diabetes Care. Snack while you meal prep, doze off on the couch, wear it fashionably or discreetly. You can do it all with the #1 rated automated insulin delivery system according to a DQ&A patient panel. Get started at tandemdiabetes.com. RX only, indicated for patients with type 1 diabetes 6 years and older. Warning, Control-IQ technology should not be used by people under age 6 or who use less than 10 units of insulin per day or who weigh less than 55 pounds. Safety info available at tandemdiabetes.com/safety-info.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the show. Hollywood Jeff Petty is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. We are loaded up this morning. Of course, coming up a little bit later on the show, Secretary of State Mac Warner is going to be here. Also, gubernatorial candidate. He's been kind of making his rounds, and ever since the statement was made during the gubernatorial discussion, if you will, debate last week, that Secretary Warner feels that the election was stolen, not only stolen, but stolen by the CIA. He's not that he needed to make a name for himself. He's really made a name for himself now because this story's going nationwide, and he's asked to come on the show to talk about that. So we're going to get to that with Mac Warner coming up a little bit later on. Also, today is the first day of the Charleston Police Department's annual toy drive that they do with Astorg Auto. We're going to talk to some folks from the police department coming up a little bit later on. They'll be on for the second straight day. And we have a gentleman in studio with us, and he is from I did a little deep dive on this last night. The name of the group is Americans for Citizen Voting, and we're going to explain to you why that's important. Charlie Kolean is with us. We're going to join him a little bit later on, but we got a big story I want to get to locally this morning. I want to bring into the show St. Albans Police Chief Joe Crawford. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for being here. Officer-involved shooting. We've got some information available on the website. Give us what you know at this point, what happened in St. Albans last night, sir.
About 12:25 a.m., St. Albans Police Department responded to a domestic in the 2700 block of Lincoln Avenue there in the east end of the city. Responded to a domestic. Officers got on scene. There was a male suspect in the house, male individual in the house that brandished a knife during our encounter. And the officers attempted to use less lethal force with a taser, and was not able to subdue him and bring him into custody. Right now, it's still early in the investigation. We still have our sheriff's department is on scene, finishing up the crime scene, but apparently, from preliminary indications, are that there was 3 officers involved. 1 from St. Albans and 2 from Nitro. The sheriff's department, we're investigating the criminal side of it. We're asked to come in and do the criminal side now. St. Albans and Nitro will respectively be doing their internal reviews as well on the policy issues, but we're conducting the criminal, and we're finishing up there at the scene really as we speak.
Joe Crawford is with us talking about this officer-involved shooting. Joe, you've been doing this for a long time. This is the worst possible outcome anytime that a tragic event like this happens, sir.
It is. The time of year, always during the holidays, you see an increased call volume for domestics. But, this one is tragic in itself. But the officers did what they should have done from preliminary indications that, they attempted to use non-lethal force and ultimately ended up having to use deadly force. So it's an unfortunate event during the holiday season.
Yeah. Well, Joe, I appreciate you. I reached out to you early this morning about coming on the show this morning. I know you got the investigation continued, so we'll let you go. Thanks for coming on and updating us on this tragic situation. Thanks a lot, Joe. I appreciate it.
Thank you all. You all take care and appreciate you.
All right, thank you a lot. Against Joe Crawford on that officer-involved shooting in St. Albans last night. Again, we've got the investigation is continuing. We've got information available on the website and on our social media as well. It's 9:12. The show, of course, comes to you from the Par Mar Store studio. If there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Par Mar opening up 5 stores this week, 4 in Ohio, 1 in Virginia. That's Par Mar's first Virginia store. As a matter of fact, the Ohio store is in the community of Worcester, Loudonville, Winesburg, and Howard, and the Virginia location is in the community of Lowmore. Stop by your favorite Par Mar location and pick up a world's best chocolate bar or red stocking this Christmas season, with all proceeds benefiting the Children's Home Society of West Virginia. If there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Okay, all right, so transitioning now, I'm going to bring in Charlie Kolean from the group Americans for Citizen Voting, who asked for some time here in the studio this morning. Charlie, good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Tell me about this group first, Americans for Citizen Voting. What is the group all about, and what does this organization stand for?
Yeah, so we're a group with a nationwide focus where we truly believe that the only people voting in elections, local, state, federal, should be U.S. citizens.
So, okay, I'm presuming, and when as I said, I kind of did a deep dive on some research on this last night. I'm presuming that most folks think that in order to cast a ballot in an election in America, you have to be a U.S. citizen. But in doing some research for that, you're saying that isn't always the case.
Yeah, that's a really common misperception. So what we've seen in San Francisco, New York, D.C., and some other municipalities, they'll elect for something called home rule, and they can decide who votes in their local elections. And we feel it's really fundamental to our country to make sure only citizens are voting.
Now, according to what I read, the states of, and correct me if I'm wrong, Alabama, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Minnesota, and North Dakota have provisions in their respective constitutions that say no one can vote in an election who isn't a citizen.
Correct. And then for this upcoming year as well, voters in the states of Wisconsin and Ohio and Iowa are going to have that choice as well on the ballot. And then we hope to get this in 10 other states where voters will be able to choose whether they want to have only citizens voting in their election, which I think many voters really believe is a no-brainer.
Yeah, and West Virginia is one of those states that does not have a provision in the Constitution that prohibits non-citizens from voting in local elections. Now, there is a interesting distinction between local and federal. Is that right?
Correct. And so our goal in coming to West Virginia is to get a ballot proposal on the 2024 ballot to give West Virginians the choice to vote on citizens-only voting, which we believe they'll overwhelmingly support. And
so why is this so important to your organization and nationwide? Why is there such a move on this? Explain that.
Yeah, well, number one, we've seen a rise in certain people calling for anyone to be able to vote in elections. And simply, you're either a citizen or you're a guest in this country. And we believe only citizens should be voting because they're really the only people who are bought into this country, bought into our values, take a longer-term view on voting, and I think would vote more responsibly. If someone's just here, for example, from a foreign country and their kids are attending local public school and they argue, well, we should be able to vote in this local school board election because our kids attend that school. Well, they have such a narrow, focused interest, they're not taking a holistic view when they're going into the ballot box.
Talking with Charlie Kolean again from the group Americans for Citizen Voting here on the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. Has this sort of thing been a problem in West Virginia or in other states?
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest states we've seen this in is San Francisco, or California and San Francisco, New York City, they passed something where 800,000 foreign citizens will be able to vote in their local elections. And I mean, as some of these laws are written as well for non-citizens to vote, you could see people in Washington, D.C. who are working in a foreign embassy for China, Russia, any of these countries vote in a local D.C. election, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
So I want to kind of circle back to West Virginia here, and excuse my ignorance on this, but in order to get this changed in West Virginia, as you alluded to a little bit earlier, Charlie, that would require a change to the state's constitution, and then would have to be put on the ballot for people to decide. Is that right?
Correct. And we really believe the constitutional amendment route is the best route to go. Because, politicians come and go and laws can change much more easily. But if we get this in the Constitution, it's really a fundamental change to the state, to how people vote. And I think it's going to be a long-term positive change.
Now, has your group in other states that you've worked on to try to get this on the ballot or get it passed or whatever in other states, has your group specifically been successful in this?
Yes, we've been successful. So this has been in 6 states already. And we plan to do 10 states this year.
And so this will be something that the legislature, when they gavel in next month, would probably be taking a look at. They'll pass it, and then it will go before the voters.
Correct. So we're doing everything we can to get this on the attention of legislative leaders to make sure this is a priority and that they vote on this so it appears on the 2024 ballot.
Do you anticipate any issues? I mean, this is a red state. It's a Republican state, conservative state. I can't imagine a whole lot of people would have issue. There may be some, but I mean, do you anticipate much of a fight here in West Virginia?
Well, there's never a lot of pushback on the merits of the argument. I think it's common sense where a lot of people would agree, yes, only U.S. citizens should be voting in all elections. But really the biggest thing we face is making sure people take this seriously and push it forward, because they could say, is this really an issue? Could this really happen in West Virginia? But we say, well, look at these other states. If it's happening over there, eventually it's going to come here. So, deal with it now while you have the political will.
Where can people learn more about this? I know you're kind of early on in the process in West Virginia, but I was on your website last night. You've got a lot of information from other states on there. Where can people learn more about that?
Yeah, so it's citizensonlyvoting.com and americansforcitizensvoting.com.
And those are the websites that they can check out. You've got an active presence on social media as well. Charlie, any final words that you'd like to leave the people with? Because there could be people listening to this right now that may think, okay, well, I don't really think that's that big of a. I don't think that this is that big of a deal. You would say to them what?
Well, I would say, look at where this is happening in other states. I mean, 800,000 people in New York are going to be voting who aren't U.S. citizens. This is, I think, a really serious.
800,000?
800,000 is what their local law will allow for with electing to do home rule. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is something serious that people should pay attention to, and they're going to have a choice to actually make a call on it in 2024. So, I would say make the right choice, and you'll never have to deal with it again.
And again, this has to go before the legislature. You're going to be working the phones and shaking a lot of hands and whatever with the legislators to try to get this on the ballot. And if it does make it to a ballot initiative, because again, it would have to be agreed upon by the voters, it would be in, I guess, the November 2024 election.
Correct.
All right. Charlie, I appreciate you taking time on your schedule to be here. Now, where's home for you? Where are you from?
Dallas, Texas.
You know you're speaking to the world's biggest Dallas Cowboy fan here, right?
Excellent. I'll go Cowboys.
That's all right. All right, we'll leave it at that. This is our year, right?
It is. Just like every year.
Just like every year. Was anybody talking to you guys over in the corner? This is a private conversation over here. All right, Charlie, I appreciate you being here. And again, the website is?
americansforcitizensvoting.com.
All right, Charlie Kolean, I appreciate you joining us. Hang with me 1 second here. It's 9:20. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you, of course, by Thornhill Auto Group. Get ready to make the holidays bright this year in a brand new Ford with your name on it. Drive on down to the Thornhill Motor Mile. Slide into the driver's seat of a cutting-edge Ford SUV or a new F-150. Click or come by thornhillford.net or on the Thornhill Motor Mile US 119 in Chapmanville. We began today is opening day of the Charleston Police Department and Astorg Auto, their annual toy drive. And for the second consecutive day, we're going to be joined from some folks by that organization. Plus, Mac Warner coming up a little bit later on, too. We're back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
Hey, it's Dave Allen for Parmar Stores, and yes, another holiday season is here. Now, you don't need me to tell you how hectic it all is with the shopping, the cooking, the decorating, family, and friends. Well, just remember your local Parmar store is here for you during the holiday season and year-round. From gas to groceries and all the other things you need or may run out of, Parmar has you covered. We are the official convenience store of Marshall University and of the West Virginia Secretary of Schools Activities Commission. Happy holidays, and remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Christmas only comes once a year, so let's start spreading some holiday cheer with a Members' Choice West Virginia Christmas loan.
Now through December 22nd, you can borrow up to $1,500 with rates as low as 5% and up to 10 months to pay back.
Get everything on your Christmas list this year and apply today at 201 Ohio Avenue in Charleston or visit memberschoicewv.com.
Loans are subject to credit approval. Additional restrictions may apply.
Ho, ho, ho!
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Get ready to make the holidays bright this year in a brand new Ford with your name on it. Drive on down to the Thornhill Motor Mile during the Ford Black Friday Sell-A-Thon and tag yours at Thornhill Ford Lincoln. Slide into the driver's seat of a cutting-edge Ford SUV or new F-150 truck and feel the power of innovation at your fingertips. Be winter ready and gift-giving in style. We'll even wrap it up with a big red bow if you want. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to come explore all that Ford has to offer with great options for your holiday travels and offers that will keep you smiling well into the new year. This ought to make your season bright. Click or come by. Visit us online at thornhillford.net and on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. Visit Thornhill for all details.
It is 9:22. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The impact of Special Olympics extends far beyond the athletes themselves. Volunteers and supporters touched by the unwavering determination of these extraordinary individuals find immeasurable fulfillment in their involvement with the inclusive approach embraced by Special Olympics. Of course, it fosters an environment where everyone plays a vital role. West Virginia Enriched, in collaboration with Huntington, invites you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580WCHS. Text says, if contributing to the country is the standard for voting, should migrant workers be able to vote? Their labor is invaluable. They have taxes taken out and pay taxes on products they purchased. Text says, can't the guest mention that the New York City proposal for local voting by non-citizens was invalidated by a judge, or does he need to pretend it still exists for fear-mongering? Text says, must be all those soft on crime policies of the St. Albans mayor that led to the criminal threatening police with a knife. We all know the woke policies of Mayor James enables criminals, or does this bad faith argument only work when you try to own the libs? Says a texter. Texter says, if you've been to this country for more than 10 years and pay taxes, you can vote. We have rich people in this country that don't pay a dime in taxes that vote, and that doesn't stop them. Text says, West Virginia's leadership has made it clear they don't want to welcome anyone who's different from us in any way, so we really don't have to worry about hordes of non-citizens taking over local elections or even coming here. Remember, this only affects local elections. No need to panic, according to a texter. Well, today is the opening day, if you will, of the two-day Charleston Police Department's annual toy drive. Good folks at Astorg Auto assisting with that. It gets underway in a couple of hours. A good friend, Lieutenant David Payne, is here from the Charleston Police Department. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
And we also have another guest with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself to the folks?
Good morning. I'm Lauren Swanson.
Now, Lauren, what is your part in all this?
So I am helping raise brand awareness with graphic design and a little bit of public relations.
PR, my field, next to broadcasting. I'm not good at either one. Again, there's no need for comments. No need for comments. Dave, it's kind of rare to have somebody on the show 2 days in a row, but you're able to pull it off because here at the station, we really believe in this and what you guys are going to be doing. What time do you start today?
We kick off at 11 o'clock. Santa arrives at noon at the parking lot of Benny Keatum. It'll go on today from 11 to 7. We're accepting new unwrapped toys for kids up to 18 years of age.
And I know, Dave, that sometimes, and I've planned a lot of events in my time, I know that sometimes the days leading up to an event can be more stressful than the actual event itself. Sometimes it takes care of itself once you're there. Talk about what it's been like, either one of you, running around like crazy trying to get things ready for this 2 days.
You know what? It hasn't really been as hard as you'd think. I think because of our love and passion for what we're doing for the kids. But last night we were in that parking lot. We transformed the parking lot to a wonderland for the kids. Our officers worked really hard. I said, this is really the only place you can mix and match the lights without your wife really getting mad at you. But it's a really nice place over there. You'll be surprised once you come and enjoy it.
Talk about the buy-in, guys, from the community on this.
Oh, it's been huge. Without their support, we really couldn't pull this off. We've had a lot of organizations and individuals come together to help this out. Last year, we were able to serve 750 children, and we hope to beat that this year.
And the weather looks good. I always like to talk about the weather. Next couple of days, you can't
beat it.
Can't
right.
beat the
Sun's
weather.
Going to be shining. It's really going to be nice. The kids are really excited about seeing Santa.
Lauren, I'm going to talk to you for a second. Let's talk about getting the word out to people.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've used this show, but not just this show. That's the only one that matters anyway. I'm kidding. But you've gotten the word out and through the media and through social media. Talk about what that's like.
Absolutely. So the Charleston Police Department has done a wonderful job with the relationships that they have that are existing, and also our sponsors. As Lieutenant Payne said, it truly takes a village, and the sponsors who have served as drop-off locations for us, those who have helped out with our event, everybody has really gone out of their way to, volunteer their time, volunteer their space, make food for people, but also help us get the word out. And that has been instrumental in this process. And
you've discussed this in the past, but just in case, Lieutenant, people are listening for the first time, how do you go about gathering the toys? How do you go about choosing who gets them, and then the distribution? Talk about that.
All right, so there's an application process. So we actually put it out on our Facebook page on Sunday. We reached a point where we had to cut it off and then we reached that point probably within about 2 hours. We hope to put that site back up to accept additional applications once we receive additional toys. But once we're collecting them at Benny Keatum. We'll take them on Friday over to the Coliseum, and that's where we'll bag and tag all the toys for pickup on Monday and Tuesday for those that filled out the application.
And talk about the help that you get from the folks there at Benny Keatum, because they do a great job as well.
Oh, they're wonderful. They're really good hosts. They're just really wonderful people. We've worked with them now for 4 years, and they're very accommodating. Just very good people to work with.
And again, you've discussed this because this is the third time you've been on the show to talk about this, but I just want to make sure we get the message out there as far as the history of this and where it came from and this whole idea. Talk about that.
Sure. So it really started off during COVID, where the FOP provides us with $1,000 to do Shop with a Cop. And we usually give 5 kids $200. But that year, the funds, they weren't there. So I basically approached the chief and said, hey, I'd like to do a toy drive. My idea at the time was really just taking our pickup truck and going under the interstate or at an intersection and really hoping to get maybe a truckload of toys, One thing led to another. During the Cassie Johnson's funeral, I was standing in the Civic Center looking over the Benny Keatum's parking lot, and all the police officers' cars were lit up in blue, unfortunately. And it gave me the idea maybe this would be a good place to have our toy drive. And then I received a call from Astorg Auto and Lowe's and helped me decorate and provide the funds to kick it off that year. And we went from a small idea to serving over 750 children.
Over 750 children. And again, this started out as a Charleston thing, but it's gone well beyond that now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we have Astorg Auto. Like I said, they're involved. They're a big sponsor to help us pull this off, really. Without them, it wouldn't be as big as it is, and without the help from the community also.
Yeah. And speaking of the community, I've brought this up when you've been on the show in the past. If people are listening today and they're part of a church or a civic organization or a business or individuals or whatever, you'll take whatever help that they can give, right?
Oh, for sure. And no donation is too small. We have a site on our Facebook page where you can actually donate online. We take monetary donations if you come through the drive-through. If you write in a check, just write out the CPAAA. But sure.
I mean, opportunities there for us to help out this holiday season. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. Get with them for your quote before you start your project. If you're tired of sorting through a bunch of crooked boards, get with General Hardware and Lumber. They have the straight quality lumber you're looking for with great pricing and the service you would expect from a locally owned business. And there's a little added incentive, Lieutenant, for people that come through the line today and tomorrow.
Correct. So Chick-fil-A has helped us, has given us 150 Be Our Guest cards to help us reach our goal. So the first 150 people that drop off an unwrapped toy will receive one of these gift cards.
Mm-hmm. And everybody likes Chick-fil-A, right, Lauren?
Sure.
Everybody loves Chick-fil-A.
It's the Lord's chicken. That's what they say about it. But I will say this about the folks at Chick-fil-A, Tom Minturn and those folks. We've had. I mean, anytime that there's ever when we do our radiothons that we do here, they always provide food for us. Anytime we're doing anything out in the community. I wish all corporations, because I always preach shop locally, but these locations are locally owned. And I wish all corporations across the country would give back as much to the community as Chick-fil-A does, because they really do a great job, specifically here in the Kanawha Valley.
Oh, for sure. Sometimes I wonder how they actually pull it off, because they've always come to our aid when we've asked.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Let's kind of put the bow on it here, no pun intended. So it starts in about, an hour and a half?
Starts at 11.
11 o'clock?
Yeah, 11 o'clock. Yeah.
So Dave tells me the more time he spends here, the less time he has to lift boxes. That's why
absolutely. It's strategic.
Yeah. Lauren and Dave are going to say, I was on that radio for 8 hours, man.
We had so much to talk about.
A lot to talk about. So it starts at 11 o'clock this morning, goes until what time this evening?
Goes until 7. So Santa will arrive at noon. We have the children, like I said, from the Kingdom Learning Academy. They're going to perform for Santa and actually drops toys off for Santa. They're really excited about being there. But yeah, we'll be there all the way till 7 o'clock tonight.
And then you'll be there
tomorrow also from 11 to 7.
11 to 7 tomorrow. So if you can break away from work and go down there, if you can come after work, I mean, I know there's a lot of things going on. Everybody's busy during the holiday season, but with so much going on, take a couple minutes down there because, and Dave and Lauren will kind of close with this. That smile that you see on a kid's face when they get that toy at Christmas. And we don't know these kids, and you're in the police business, yeah. Dave. A lot of these kids, they face things that people of our generation, probably kids of our generation, never had to face.
Right.
And this may be, in many cases, it is the only gift that they get this Christmas season.
Oh, for sure. And we really see the appreciation coming from the parents once we deliver these toys. Some of them are individually delivered. We actually use a lot of these toys for the victims of crime that we've come across throughout the years. So, yeah, all these toys go to a good cause, and we really appreciate everyone's help.
That's a really good point that you brought that up, and that's something else I may have you on the show to talk about at another time, is when an officer or officers go into a situation, like this, sometimes you need to diffuse the situation because a lot of them have been taught that police are bad, or they're just scared. I mean, it's, this is mommy and daddy or whatever's going on in their house. And you utilize some of these toys and things of that nature for that purpose as well.
Oh, correct. It's been a huge help just to relax the child, just to bring them on our side, to know that we are their friend, that we're there to help them. And they actually remember that. There's so many times where kids come up to me throughout the year and thank me and know my name or say hi. So it's really helpful.
All right. Well, guys, we wish you the best of luck. Again, you're 11 to 7 today and tomorrow. And first ones that come through the line, we're going to give you a coupon for some Chick-fil-A. You got music out there. Weather is fantastic. Can't beat it for this time of year. So we wish you the best of luck with everything. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing you guys are doing. Lauren, you're doing a great job with the social media aspect of it and the graphic design, everything that you do. And Lieutenant Payne, you're a rock star, man. You just keep doing what you do out there.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for all your help.
Absolutely. All right. Let me just hang out with me here 1 second. We'll get to Mac Warner coming up here in a couple of moments. The texts we get to the show are a service of Fruth Pharmacy. Check out the Fruth Pharmacy gift guide for great deals this holiday season. You'll find gifts under $10. Super savers, hot buys, brand new products too. Find gift sets for men and women, toys for tots, cozy throws, quilts, and more. Shop locally. Shop Fruth Pharmacy. Visit a bin store, online, or by phone, and try their curbside pickup service. Fruth's been your hometown pharmacy for 71 years. We're back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
As you shop for others, 4th Avenue Financial invites you to give yourself the gift of professional financial planning. What better way to start the new year than consolidating old 401ks, examining your current investments, and preparing for retirement? Call me, John Burdett, at 304-746-7977 or contact us at 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Incorporated, JW Cole Financial, JW Cole Advisors, and 4th Avenue Financial are unaffiliated entities.
What a wonderful and blessed year 23 has been for Jim Strawn and Company. We are so grateful and appreciative of the many individuals, organizations, and businesses that have entrusted our company with your marketing needs. As our 8th year begins, we look forward to another prosperous year and trust that 2024 will be your best year yet. If we can help, let us know. 304-541-4756. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and a happy new year. Enjoy the season.
Elevators. You take them for granted until they let you down. If you're working to maintain a stellar reputation, then let me introduce you to DC Elevator. We want to work with you to make sure your people get where they are going. What could be better than a new company coming to the area and already having 45 years of experience? DC Elevator is bringing a new culture of elevator maintenance, repairs, modernization, and installation to West Virginia. Don't leave your people hanging. For a free consultation, call DC Elevator at 304-345-7222.
Get ready to make the holidays bright this year in a brand new Ford with your name on it. Drive on down to the Thornhill Motor Mile during the Ford Black Friday Sell-a-thon and tag yours at Thornhill Ford Lincoln. Slide into the driver's seat of a cutting-edge Ford SUV or new F-150 truck and feel the power of innovation at your fingertips. Be winter ready and gift-giving in style. We'll even wrap it up with a big red bow if you want. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to come explore all that Ford has to offer with great options for your holiday travels and offers that will keep you smiling well into the new year. This ought to make your season bright. Click or come by. Visit us online at thornhillford.net and on the Thornhill Motor Mile US 119 Chapmanville. Visit Thornhill for all details.
23 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you by your local Brightways agents, John and Sherry Mays of Brightway, the Mays Agency of Tays Valley. Homeowners insurance can be complicated. Get the coverage you need locally with John and Sherry Mays, Brightway, the Mays Agency, 304-814-2509, or visit brightwaymays.com. Text says, these new jobs coming to West Virginia better pay really well to get people here. I don't see any other reason a person would want to move to this fledgling Christo-fascist state, says a texter. Text says, Dave, I've emailed Mayor Goodwin's office twice about these cash for phones kiosks popping up all over Charleston. No response. Many stolen phones are ending up in these kiosks, and they are encouraging thieves to target cell phones. They can get quick cash for them with no questions asked. Cell phones today aren't just a phone. They have people's entire lives on them. The city needs to acknowledge the problems and take care and remove these kiosks. All right, City of Charleston. I know they listen to the show every day. Hopefully they heard that, and they'll address the situation. We'll have somebody on from the city to talk about it. Hollywood Jeff Petty is our producer today. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Food Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Want to welcome to the show West Virginia Secretary of State and gubernatorial candidate Mac Warner. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Dave. Good to be with you.
Thank you for being here. Let's get right to it. The comments that you made last week during the gubernatorial forum, debate, whatever you want to call it, with Hoppy in Morgantown, the comments were not only big news here in West Virginia, but also nationwide. During the gubernatorial debate last Thursday night in Morgantown, that's when you sent a broadcast, of course, here on Metro News and all of our stations. You said about the 2020 presidential election that it was stolen in part by the CIA, the FBI, big tech. Do you stand by the comments, sir, and what do you base this on?
Absolutely, I do. Recall, it's a bit ironic. I said the same thing back in April in front of Congress. I testified to that, and we put out a press release on it. So it's kind of funny that here we are 6 months later, and it's now making big news. But it's because I'm in a gubernatorial race, and the way, and Hoppy asked the question. Hoppy was looking for a yes or no answer, and Hoppy's a talk show host, and he gets listeners by sometimes having controversy, and he got the controversial answer he wanted when I said yes. And here's the background to that. It's yes because it was an improper, it was an unfair election generated by Tony Blinken, who was on Biden's campaign, who went to the former acting CIA director, Mike Morrell, and said, look, the Hunter Biden laptop is going to be breaking news, and we have to have a talking point for Biden when Trump brings this up in the debate. And so Morrell ran with that, and he got 51 so-called intelligence experts to sign a letter that said the Russians had hacked Hunter Biden's laptop. It was Russian disinformation. Well, they both knew that it wasn't. And this isn't my opinion. Morrell has testified to that under oath to Jim Jordan, the House Judiciary Chair. He did this in March, and he said, yes, we did that for the express purpose of helping Joe Biden. We did not want Trump to be president. So this isn't conjecture or my opinion. This is fact that they've admitted to under oath. And so this was done to change the outcome of the election. And it worked because at the debate, Biden used that, and it put Trump back on his heels, and there wasn't time between the time of the debate and the election to fact-check and get it all out. Well, now, here we are 2 years later, and it took 2 years, Dave, because the Republicans had to get elected in 2022, November 2022, and then start holding these hearings in this year, January, February, March of this year, and that's when all of this started to come out. So that's why we're still talking about this 2 and 3 years later. And so when Hoppy asked that question, was it stolen? Had I answered no, then I wouldn't be true to the people of West Virginia. I'm in this unique position of being the chief elections officer for the state of West Virginia, and I owe it to the people to share what information I have. There's probably nobody in this state that has studied this more, looked into it more than I have, and I owe it to people. It's kind of the oath that I had as a cadet at West Point, that a cadet will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. Well, the FBI tolerated this lie. They tolerated it by not coming clean. Senator John Kennedy from down in Louisiana had Christopher Wray, the FBI director, under oath recently, and he asked him, why didn't you just come clean with the American people? You didn't have to say Hunter Biden was guilty of anything. Just come clean and say, yes, the laptop was real. And he didn't have an answer. So the FBI covered it up, and then it got worse. The FBI went to big tech and told them to suppress the story. And so you saw Trump being taken off of Twitter. Mark Zuckerberg has admitted to Joe Rogan on his show that, yes, the FBI came and told us to suppress the story. So now we're getting into First Amendment rights, the right to free speech and being suppressed. So this is just about as bad can get, that this is happening in the United States of America by our own three-lettered agencies. We don't want three-lettered agencies to determine the outcome of an election. We want the American voters to determine that. So that's why we're talking about it. That's why it's important, so that we watch for this and don't have this happen to us again in next year's election.
Talking to Mac Warner, again, Secretary of State and candidate for governor. Secretary, what do you make of the fact, though, that this has been adjudicated in courts after court after court, and they found no merit to the claims?
Well, this hasn't been adjudicated, Dave. What you're talking about, some specific cases in state courts.
Okay.
See, down in Georgia, they wouldn't even appoint a judge to hear the case until after the election was certified and the inauguration had happened and so on. That's gamesmanship. It's called lawfare. The one side is using law to try to make their case. So this sort of thing has not been adjudicated. This is the FBI lying to the American people. In the military, we call it a psychological operation. The CIA might do this in some other country, but they shouldn't be doing that here in the United States, and that's why it's so important to hold them accountable, call them out. Jim Jordan is doing that with the House Judiciary Committee. Other senators are now on board asking those same questions, so that the voters can go to the polls well-educated next time and not have the wool pulled over their eyes like they did in 2020.
Talking with Mac Warner, and again, full disclosure, and those who listen to this show daily know I worked for you for 4 years, starting in January 2017 until I left on what I hope was good terms in the summer of 2021. And I know that during that time, the state of West Virginia, Mac, was recognized nationally by various groups for election integrity. I heard you say that when you were on the Hoppy Show with Dave Wilson yesterday, for doing things right, in no small part to the hard work of West Virginia's county clerks working in conjunction with your office. Are you concerned that some election officials, sir, here in West Virginia may be bothered by the comments that you made, that maybe you're bringing into question the integrity of their brethren in elections, in the elections business in other parts of the country? Have you heard from any of them, or is that something that concerns you?
Nobody has raised that with me. You see, there was another thing. Back to my West Point days, we prayed every week a cadet prayer that says, "Endow us with courage to know no fear when truth and right are in jeopardy." Well, I think truth and right are in jeopardy when our 300 agencies are working against basic democracy. It also says choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong. It's not easy to take on Hoppy Churchill, okay, and 300 agencies, all right? But this is what's required of me with the oath that I've taken. And the other is to not be content with a half-truth when the whole can be one. What the CIA was doing was playing with these half-truths. They said it has all the indicia of Russia disinformation. Well, they knew that was going to get played out, that it was Russian disinformation and so on. And so my oath as a commissioned officer was that I would support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I've never had to worry about the domestic part until right now. This is the first time in my entire career of 5 decades of service to the state and to the country that I've ever had to worry about this domestic enemy, and that is our own federal government. I really never thought that I would have to worry about our own federal government, but here we are. So that's why it's important to talk about it, and I appreciate you having me on so I can explain in more detail rather than just a yes or no answer about an election that was taken by trickery.
You know, last week during that debate, and I watched it, and I appeared on Talkline the next day. Matter of fact, I'm going to be on with Dave Wilson coming up at 10:30 this morning on Talkline. That roundtable discussion, yourself, Attorney General Patrick Morrissey, well, he wasn't actually there, but he is one of the candidates. Auto dealer Chris Miller, delegate more Capito, all. I think it would be safe to say that they are all supporters of Trump. I don't know that any has gone to the length, though, that you have in discussing this, because this story, Mac, I mean, immediately after it happened and you uttered those words last Thursday night, it went nationwide. I mean, Brad's story that he did on it ended up on the Drudge Report. I know you've had interest from some pretty big name talk show hosts on the talk show circuit and Fox News, some of these other outlets. Are you surprised at the reaction that this has gotten?
Well, only that because we did this 6 months ago. I raised it right after the testimony when Morrell admitted to all this, and I went to Congress and I raised it at that time, and we put out a press release, and it didn't get much attention. But now, again, because I'm running for governor, it has gotten some wider attention and acclaim. And I think people are this country is divided. Half of the country want Trump back in there in the worst sort of way, and half of the country will do anything they can to stop it. And this is evidence of those people inside our government that are going to do anything they can to stop it. So they see that this is what's coming in 2024, and that's why it's so important that we do look back, we analyze what happened, and then prevent it from happening again. Let's have a free and fair election, and then see how the chips fall. But we shouldn't be having this improper influence by federal officials weighing in on the election. And so let's give credit back to those county clerks that I've worked with very closely now for 7 years. That's why West Virginia is doing so well. We have a very clean election system that the legislature has laid out, and we abide by the rules. We don't change the rules in the middle of the game like Pennsylvania did, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, and others. That's where the problems occurred. When you used unsupervised drop boxes and just allow people to shove ballots in there. And Rasmussen just did a poll here that was released. I saw it yesterday. It said 21% of the people that voted by mail cheated in some form or fashion. You know, filling a ballot out for their wife or whatever, or not signing it, and that sort of thing. We have to be very careful about this voting by mail. You want to vote in person at your local precinct under the watchful eye of trained observers of both parties, voting on Election Day. That's the most secure form of voting, and only if the legislature has given you an authorized reason to vote absentee, that should be very limited in number. And traditionally, West Virginia has voted in person on Election Day. Before COVID, we only had about 7,000 people voting statewide using the absentee system. And so we've gotten back closer to that now that COVID's over with, and I hope we can continue to move in that direction. Voter ID, we have implemented that very successfully here in West Virginia, and we report results on election night. All of those are the things that add confidence to elections and why we're seeing some record turnout in West Virginia, and I sure hope that we do that again in 2024. Again,
Mike, for the record, because I've heard you say trickery, and I've heard you say stolen. For the record, I'm gonna uninterrupted. I'm gonna let you say it. Do you believe that the 2020 presidential election was indeed stolen, or that Joe Biden. Do you recognize Joe Biden as president of the United States?
I recognize Joe as president, but is it legitimate? When you add that word legitimate, now you start to get into another realm. And I love to use the football analogy of the 1990 Colorado-Missouri game when Colorado got 5 downs and they scored on the 5th down and won the game. They won the game. They advanced on to the national championship, okay? But was it legitimate? No, the rules of football say you don't have 5 downs. You get 4 downs. And so when a ref makes a bad call at the end of a game, what does every loyal Mountaineer yell? Oh, the game was stolen. So I don't want to get into what the definition of stolen is, but if you actually look at it, taking something by trickery fits that definition of stolen. When you do it deceitful, when you do it surreptitiously, and that's what happened in this election, and I don't want it to happen again.
Mac Warner, Secretary of State and a candidate for governor. We wish you the best of luck with the campaign. We'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Dave. Great.
Again, it's Mac Warner. It's 9:51. The Dave Allen Show, 580 Live, brought to you part by Husson's Pizza. This month, it's your favorite Husson's. You get the special holiday pack, a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza, 10 breadsticks, 12 hot wings, and a 2-liter Pepsi, only $33.99. Find your local Husson's at HussonsPizza.com. Guess what? A ton of texts to get to. We'll get to them right after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you a physical therapy assistant and looking for an opportunity in orthopedics, wellness, and athletic care? If so, Generations Physical Therapy is offering flexible work hours and an upbeat atmosphere. With 7 convenient locations, Generations may have a job designed for you. Visit generationspt.com.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
After years of decline, West Virginia's economy is finally on the rise, and it's been an all-hands-on-deck effort. A critical member of our state's economic development team has been Republican State Senator Glenn Jeffries. For decades, Glenn Jeffries has run a successful contracting business, creating thousands of good-paying jobs. Now, as chairman of the Economic Development Committee, Senator Glenn Jeffries works tirelessly to help bring new jobs to our state. Vote for more jobs. Vote for Republican Glenn Jeffries for State Senate. Paid for by the committee to elect Glenn Jeffries.
Get ready to make the holidays bright this year in a brand new Ford with your name on it. Drive on down to the Thornhill Motor Mile during the Ford Black Friday Sell-a-thon and tag yours at Thornhill Ford Lincoln. Slide into the driver's seat of a cutting-edge Ford SUV or new F-150 truck and feel the power of innovation at your fingertips. Be winter ready and gift-giving in style. We'll even wrap it up with a big red bow if you want. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to come explore all that Ford has to offer with great options for your holiday travels and offers that will keep you smiling well into the new year. This ought to make your season bright. If you're come by, visit us online at thornhillford.net and on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. Visit Thornhill for all details.
7 away from 10. It's Wednesday, which means our sister station V100 will be out at Red Carpet Lounge for Working Women's Wednesday, start at 5 o'clock. Get on over there and check it out. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Pinnacle Consultants. We spend 90% of our time indoors, and our health risk for air pollution can be greater indoors than out. Pinnacle Consultants, the only accredited commercial lab in the state for asbestos and mold. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Going to try to get through as many of these texts as I can. Text says, ask Mac Warner to correct the lies that Georgia election workers Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss committed fraud in the 2020 election. They were undisputedly defamed, yet Warner tolerates the lies about Freeman and Moss. Doesn't even care that those lies cause death threats. If Mac appears on your show as a candidate and Secretary of State, who's paying for his time? Says the texter. Can the taxpayers get reimbursed for his use of government time for personal political errands? Well, you want to go down that one, you're going to have to do that for every politician, regardless of party. Text says it was not the FBI that suppressed the votes. It was a group of folks with foreign policy experience. Also, Trump was kicked off Twitter after January 6th. One thing I don't agree with Mac Warner on is the fact that Twitter, Facebook, whatever, they're private entities. They can kick off whoever they want. They're just like they're a business. It's not free speech. It's not censorship because they're not controlled by the government. I will say that. Text says Mac Warner operating the Secretary of State's office with integrity has now lost all integrity and my respect, says a texter. What a blank loser, says a texter. Blank being the key thing there. Texas former CIA people say a lot of things. Lots of former federal employees say all kinds of things. Crazy town. Trump was taken off Twitter because of the insurrection and nothing else. Text says he used to say the election was stolen. Now he says it was by trickery. Snake oil salesman, says a texter. Texter says, so now the man who won is now an illegitimate president. This is third world foolishness. By the way, you ask good questions, says a texter. Text says, how do you feel about having a new Trump extremist on your show? Why give this nut a platform for anything? Maybe he'll get a Trump endorsement to help his struggling campaign. Well, I give him a platform because it's called free speech and because he asked for it. Just as Mike Pushkin, Greg Thomas, all the others asked for it, because I turned no one away here. And he's a candidate for governor and he's Secretary of State. Text says, Dave, I was leaning toward Patrick Morrissey, but now I'm going to vote for Mac Warner. He's a man of courage, maturity, and common sense. His experience in government affairs will make him a great governor. Text says, dude's full of it. It was Trump's CIA, FBI, etc. I hate this man with a passion for his dire weakness and pathetic subservience to Trump. What an absolute mini-man, a tiny, worthless soul of emasculated pleading to his masters. I cannot wait till he vanishes into the conspiracy trash where all the feckless goons disappear. Those are some pretty big words there. Text says Mac Warner needs a psychological operation. Text says, forget Mac Warner and his dead brain views. I want to hear Hollywood Jeff's opinion on the Dodgers signing Shohei Ohtani. Well, we'll do that on another show. Maybe we'll do that on Friday's show. We'll talk a little sports then. Text says Warner took voters off the rolls that had not voted in 2 years. Was still living. He should have not taken anyone off the rolls unless they request to be taken off. Editor's note, I did work in the Secretary of State's office, and there was a big process that led to taking hundreds of thousands of people off the voter rolls, including contacting them on 2 different occasions and asking them if they would like to remain on the voter rolls, and if they heard nothing, then they were taken off. I do know something about that. Text says, does he think Trump stole the election from Clinton? She was up double digits and he won. Text says, shame on Warner using West Point as he blows the dog whistle for the cult. Trump was president and over the FBI and CIA in 2020. This typical fear-mongering to those who are easily led astray, disappointed he would stoop so low. What proof, says a texter, Secretary Warner had that this one issue was enough to sway the election? More conspiracy theories that the election was stolen. I expect better from our state officials. Won't be voting for Mac Warner. Text says, what a total joke Warner is, an embarrassment to the people who worked hard on election integrity, says a texter. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Meeks Realty Group, where trust and efficiency are the cornerstones of their service. Meeks offers years of experience in both residential and commercial real estate with results that will exceed your expectations. At Meeks, it's about more than the agreement. Your real estate transaction is a part of your dreams and goals. When you go with Meeks, you're not just getting real estate expertise, you're getting a partner you can rely on for a lifetime of successful investments. Call 304-401-1101 or visit Meeks.us. Look, I'm not in the, I do marketing, I've done marketing in my past. I have worked on some political campaigns in the past. This is good. This is good marketing by Mac Warner. And I'm not saying that he doesn't truly believe this, because I now truly believe that he does believe this. Okay. But a whole lot of people are talking nationwide about Mac Warner at this point, some of whom may not have been before. Very, very early that it's Patrick Morrissey's race to lose. You got More Capito. More Capito, by the way, will be on the show next week. Chris Miller. And now Mac Warner. Mac Warner has dominated the news cycle for pretty much ever since Thursday, as far as the governor's race goes. So, there you go. All right. Hollywood Jeff Petty is my producer. Thank you so much to all of our guests on the show today. I will be coming up on Talk Line with Dave Wilson at 10:30 this morning. Follow the news of the day at WVMetroNews.com and WCHSNetwork.com. Coming up on the show tomorrow, Kanawha County Commissioner Ben Salango is here, and Delegate State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin will be on the show tomorrow. I wonder what he thinks about all this. Find out tomorrow. Till then, have fun. I love somebody.
WCHS AM, W243DRFM Charleston, and W283AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here, too.
You go with Meeks, you're not just getting real estate expertise, you're getting a partner you can rely on for a lifetime of successful investments. Call 304-401-1101 or visit Meeks.us. Look, I'm not in the, I do marketing, I've done marketing in my past. I have worked on some political campaigns in the past. This is good. This is good marketing by Mac Warner. And I'm not saying that he doesn't truly believe this, because I now truly believe that he does believe this. Okay. But a whole lot of people are talking nationwide about Mac Warner at this point, some of whom may not have been before. Very, very early that it's Patrick Morrissey's race to lose. You got More Capito. More Capito, by the way, will be on the show next week. Chris Miller and now Mac Warner. Mac Warner has dominated the news cycle for pretty much ever since Thursday, as far as the governor's race goes. So, there you go. All right. Hollywood Jeff Petty is my producer. Thank you so much to all of our guests on the show today. I will be coming up on Talk Line with Dave Wilson at 10:30 this morning. Follow the news of the day at WVMetroNews.com and WCHSNetwork.com. Coming up on the show tomorrow, Kanawha County Commissioner Ben Salango is here, and Delegate State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin will be on the show tomorrow. I wonder what he thinks about all this. Find out tomorrow. Till then, have fun. I love somebody.
WCHS AM, W243DRFM Charleston, and W283AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here, too.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.